Hello, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be dining fine today because with today's movie, The Menu. This film released back in November of 2022, so a little late. Better late than never. And it's really good. But let's get into why this meal is 5 stars. Okay, maybe not 5 stars, but you get what I mean. But so let's get into the basic background of the movie. Basic plot is that a massive group of people, are boated out to this island with a fancy restaurant on it called Hawthorne's, and this is a fancy restaurant. This is probably like Gordon Ramsay level. I was gonna say over Gordon Ramsay level, but I don't know about that. But and as the night continues and as the meal courses go out, the night gets slowly more and more disturbing and fucked up. And I'm gonna say this now, this movie is genuinely disturbing. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's very much like, the movie does something similar to Psycho, where it waits till about halfway in to really, pump the shit in, and it's a classic film technique in horror to wait to halfway in to, drive the tension and fear up. But the thing is, with this film, you're still left tense for that first half because it's gonna change. The tone is gonna switch and everything's gonna get fucked up. But the movie and the acting is so good that you're left completely tense about when it's going to happen. And it happens around about 45 minutes in, and yeah, it's fucking disturbing. Again, I don't want to go into massive spoilers with this one, because I feel like this movie should be watched and enjoyed. Well, like a fine dine meal, which that is actually a plot point brought up throughout the film. But anyway, there is a lot of similarities that I found with this movie and other films. Like, one, I found a similarity between this and Midsommar, the Ari Aster movie from 2019. And if you've seen the movie already, you'd probably know why, or maybe you don't, I don't know. I don't know if it's like intentional similarity, but it's similar to Midsommar in some ways. But also, it's a little similar to Die Hard, which is weird. But how do I explain this? Okay. The way this movie is similar to Die Hard is that the main character, Margot, played by Anna Taylor-Joy, is the date of this Tyler dude. And throughout the entire movie, the head chef, Julian, played by Ralph Fiennes, I do not know how to pronounce his last name, the dude who played Voldemort in the Harry Potter movies, but he constantly tells Margot that she should not be here. And because he said constantly throughout the film that this night was perfectly planned, and somehow she's here when she's not supposed to be. And it's similar to John McClane in Die Hard, how Hans Gruber thinks his plan is perfectly planned out, but John McClane being there fucks it up. I don't know why. It's probably not intentional, but I just got that as a similarity. But yeah, Jesus, words. Words. Anyway, but this movie is probably the first horror film in a long time that, like I said, actually is disturbing. Like, there are a lot of fucked up moments in this. And Ralph Fiennes' acting as the head chef, like, he plays everything completely straight. He has almost no emotion, but when normally that would be the death to a performance in something like this. But in this case, it's really good that he has almost no emotion in this. It adds to the creepiness that he's almost robotic. And that goes for the rest of the chefs, like the restaurant staff. They're all, like, almost all of them are emotionless. Almost like they were suppressed in a way, because there are moments in the movie where the chef's emotions do peak out, but then are quickly suppressed again. So there's clearly backstories to each one of these chefs, and that's probably more subject to theories, and I'm not going to get into that because this is a silly review. But yeah, I really like the acting for our villainous chefs here. The robotic, emotionless acting really works here, and it adds to the creepiness. Now, one thing I also want to mention is that the movie, despite being really fucked up, is also pretty funny. Yeah, it's not labeled as a horror comedy, but there are a lot of funny moments in this film. Like, it's shocking the amount of laughs you might actually get out of this. Because, granted, the film is supposed to be a satire of fancy restaurants, so the humor is definitely intentional with that. And it's just really funny. Now, I want to talk about this for a minute, going back to the disturbing shit. A lot of people kind of confuse what makes something truly disturbing in violence and shockingness, is that disturbing for a lot of people usually isn't heavy gore and violence, for some people at least. I'm one of those people that isn't really affected by extreme gore. It's something that makes something really shocking and disturbing for me is something more is the little things, like sudden, like a sudden death, or like a sudden, gunshot bang, which that does happen in this movie, and it really catches you off guard. Because yes, that is the turning point for the movie, being that someone is killed right in front of the customers. And that moment is so sudden, and again, it's not really that bloody either, but it's just the suddenness of it, and it being so fucked up that, again, it's sometimes more the little kind. Okay, what I'm trying to say here is that being disturbing does not rely on blood and gore. It more relies on time. If you want to do something disturbing in movies, it more or less relies on timing and what exactly you're doing. Because if it's heavy gore and violence, then it's not really gonna work. But the violence in this movie does work at being disturbing. A lot of the kills in this are not bloody at all, but they still really are fucked up and disturbing. So bravo for making a almost bloodless, but still somehow disturbing movie. Which, granted, that's probably where the comedy comes in. It's supposed to, level you down a little bit. Now, let's get into the one criticism I have with the film, and that is, the ending is a little rushed. It's not a bad ending, it's just rushed. And I feel like there's another horror film that came out in 2022 that has a similar problem. I'm not going to mention the film by name here. I will mention it in my Horror 2022 video. But, yeah. Usually, when the ending is really rushed, it usually doesn't leave much of an impact. because the ending of this movie is a lot like the ending of Midsommar, as I brought up earlier. And I'm not going to say or spoil that for both Midsommar or The Menu, but if you've seen Midsommar, you probably know what I'm getting at. But yeah, the ending does feel rushed, and it kind of does suck out a bit of the tension a little bit. Again, like I said, it's not a bad ending. I just feel like there should have been more time dedicated to it, you know? It's kind of like you get to the main the climax, the verbal climax of the film, and then it kind of just fucking sonic speed. And yeah, that's my one criticism with the movie. The rest is still great. Again, the acting, amazing. The humor and the story, humor, disturbingness, it's all great. So, putting the Menu into our fancy wine bag, made with blood, of course, I'm going to give The Menu a solid 90%. Again, I feel like the ending should have had a little bit more time to it. But yeah, this is a really good movie. And like I said with all the other horror, and I'm just going to say now, I'm going to bring up a lot of points I said in this review for the Menu, but I'm going to bring up a lot of the stuff from a lot of the reviews I've said for horror films that came out this year that I have reviewed on the Blood Bag. I'm going to bring up a lot of stuff from these in my Horror 2022 video, going over those movies again in that video. But so, just to keep in mind, I will do that. But yeah, I hope all of you have an amazing 2023. I mean, mine's been alright so far. There's only 2 more horror films I've got to watch before I make the big Horror 2022 video. And that is Smile and The Mean One. And, I'll probably make reviews on those. I don't really know if I will with Smile, but I'll definitely try with The Mean One, because I might have a lot of stuff to say with that one. But yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.